Oh, hey, sorry about that. I was doing my midday workout and I didn't see you guys there. Wasn't expecting you guys to show up so soon. Uh, Let me get a little bit more comfortable and let's get into it. Much better, much better. Hold on. Let me get this set up right. All right. So, are you guys curious about the enlistment process? Or maybe even wondering, hey, I want to join, but I'm not sure which branch. What sets the Air Force apart? Well, good morning, good evening to all the students, teachers, parents, or anybody else that might be listening in on this video. My name is Technical Sergeant Egler. I'm the active duty Air Force recruiter for Southwest Atlanta and the majority of the schools in that area. Some of you guys might know me from around campus. Some of you guys, this is the first time you've ever seen me, and that's okay. So I'd like to talk about that enlistment process. I'd like to talk a little bit about what sets the Air Force apart. But first, let's start with a little bit about me. I've been in the Air Force for the past 17, almost 18 years. I started out just like everybody else starts out in the Air Force in San Antonio at basic training. After basic training, I moved up north to Sheppard Air Force Base for my tech school, and I was a weapons personnel on aircraft. I started out on the F-16 in New Mexico, moved to South Dakota, and worked on the B-1 bomber, and then moved to Arizona back to the F-16, and now I've been a recruiter for the past 4 years here in Atlanta. Times are changing. COVID-19 has struck, and it has now changed our process to be more virtual, and that's why we're doing this video here today. So enough about me, let's dive into the enlistment process. And the first step in that process is to contact a recruiter. This guy. Give me a call, shoot me a text, let me know that you're interested. An email will work as well. That's the first step. And when we get on the phone and talk, I'm going to ask you some pre-qualification questions. If you pass those questions and we can move forward in the next process, we will. If we don't, then I'll tell you what you need to work on and what you need to get done in order to move forward. So the pre-qualification is the first phone call. If everything's good and you've taken the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, or the ASVAB, then I'll set you up for your initial interview. If you haven't, then I will set you up for a pre-test to see if you qualify for an initial interview. At that time, once you pass your pre-test, or you've already taken the ASVAB and you passed it, I'm going to set you up on the initial interview, and the interview is just like a job interview. I'm going to ask you some questions, a lot of open-ended stuff, so make sure you're prepared with your answers. But also, I like my applicants to ask me some questions. So come loaded with some questions that you might have or some concerns you might have about the Air Force, and we can help alleviate anything that you might be on edge about or some things you might be unsure about. So that initial interview is very important, and once we come to an agreement that you want to move forward with the process and get some paperwork started, we will. And if you have taken the ASVAB already, we're going to schedule you for your physical within that week. If you have not taken the test, we're going to schedule you for your ASVAB that week, and the next week will be your physical. So let's dive into the physical portion of things. Now, the common misconception here is that the physical entails running, push-ups, and sit-ups. Well, that's not the case. The physical is just like a sports physical. So many of you in high school, you play sports, you guys might be familiar with it, but some of you guys might not be. And that just means that the physical is a height weight check, a once over of your body to make sure that you guys told everything to the recruiter, that there's no surgical scars that the military entry and processing station doesn't know about. So keeping an open communication with your recruiter and being 100% transparent with everything is key in this entire process. So once you make it up to MEPS, the height weight check, they're going to do a once over your body, the blood check, the urinalysis, eyes, ears, and then you're good. Once you guys pass all that, you're going to swear in to the delayed entry program. The delayed entry program just means that you're in the Air Force, but you're not through basic training yet. That you are waiting for a job that gives you a date to leave for basic training. So that process lets me as a recruiter keep close contact with you. We have monthly meetings with the delayed entry programmers. Usually it's in the office here, but due to COVID-19, everything's virtual, so we do it over Zoom. We talk about, the hot topic for the month, like monthly safety. I also go over basic training, tech school, life after that in the Air Force, and also sit down with you guys one-on-one, kind of do a little counseling, figure out what your goals are in the Air Force, see how we can help you achieve those goals throughout your entire process. Once you're waiting for a job and you've gotten your jobs loaded, it's going to take about a month to 3 months for you to book a job to leave a month or 2 months after that. But due to COVID-19, again, the process has slowed down a little bit, so I would expect a little bit of a delay. Sometimes we can get you out of here sooner. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It just depends on what jobs you have loaded and what jobs come out that month. Let's go and talk real quick about the job selection, because I said jobs you have loaded, and you guys might not understand what that means. What that means is that in the Air Force, every applicant has to list 10 career fields. Out of those 10 career fields, my boss will pick one. So you have to be 100% copacetic with all the career fields that you guys have listed. I would love for every applicant, when they come in here after they're in the delayed entry program and we get on the phone or do a face-to-face, that they pay attention to what I have to say about certain career fields, because I know which ones you guys might not be interested in and which ones you do. We as recruiters have in-depth knowledge about the career fields in the Air Force, so please pay attention to what we have to say, and take our advice, and we'll load your 10 jobs. And once they're loaded, now it's just a waiting game to see which job comes out. Once you get that job, it has a date attached to it, and that day is the day that you'll leave for basic training. So you guys know the process. You guys know from initial appointment or initial interview process all the way to swearing into the delayed entry program and the job selection. So let me give you a little bit of a timeline of things, because it can get a little confusing. So the timeline is our initial interview. If everything is good to go and you don't have any medical issues and you don't have any law violations or anything that requires a waiver, you're going to do your ASVAB and your physical within a week to 2 weeks. Once you're done with that, you're sworn into the delayed entry program, and now you're going to be leaving for basic training anywhere between a month to, let's just say, 4 to 5 months. So that's a little bit about the timeline. So now you guys know everything about the enlistment process. If there's anything else you guys might be unsure about, or you guys have any questions, my number will be up at the end of this brief. Give me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, however you want to communicate, and I'll help you with any issues that you might have. So enough about that enlistment process. Let's talk about the 2 things that set the Air Force apart from the other branches. The first one that always comes to mind and everybody always talks about is the quality of life in the Air Force. So our quality of life is great because the Air Force spends a lot of our money on the brand new airmen coming in and those dormitories, or the state-of-the-art dormitories that they'll be living in. Rent-free, no electricity bill. Only bill you got to pay is any amenities that you might want to have, like internet, your phone bill, your car note, things like that. Those dormitories also come with a day room. They typically have a big screen TV and a pool table or something for you guys to do when you guys are off duty. The second thing that sets the Air Force apart is the Community College of the Air Force. It's a great benefit that the Air Force has to offer. It's the only branch that offers our own community college that's regionally accredited, just like any state or university that you can think of that's regionally accredited, just like Georgia State, Florida State. And the great thing about that is that once you're done with tech school, you're typically 5 classes away from your associate's degree. And that's going to be a really huge leg up on all your peers that went from high school to college immediately, because within 6 months of the Air Force, you're 5 classes away from your associate's degree. And because it is regionally accredited, it will transfer over to one of those universities that you might want to go to in the future. So our educational benefits are great. We really strive to get all of our personnel through the education process. And we know that the Community College of the Air Force sets us apart. So now that you guys know a little bit about the enlistment process, a little bit about what sets the Air Force apart from the other branches. You guys can come up with an educated decision on whether or not this is the right branch for you. But if you need more information, please don't hesitate to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. It's as easy as getting on your phone, downloading my phone number, and shooting me a text. I'd like to leave you with one little thing. Come with an open mind during the enlistment process, during the first initial interview. Come with some questions already loaded. Make sure that you guys are 100% sure about this process before moving forward. All right, I'm done with my brief. You guys are free to go. The one last thing I'd like for you to do is get your phone out, open the camera app, hover over the screen, and my QR code will be up there. Open it up, scan it. It comes up with my phone number, my work address, my email address. Shoot me a text, give me a phone call. Let me know if you want to start your great career.